Right. So we were looking at this sample dialogue, which is in a relatively professional and formal context between an employee and a boss, where the employee asks the boss uh, permission to come late the next day to work, and the boss replies in a pretty formal tone. Now, what worth noting over here is that the employee, the language, would you mind if I came? And the boss's language, it's pretty formal, right? And here the employee becomes a little more casual, and as the conversation proceeds, they shed some of that formality, right? But as a conversation starter, they are pretty formal. Okay, now moving on, we have another conversation over here. In fact, we have two conversations over here. I'm sorry, I forgot to uh, put a space in between, so that. But I'll anyways read it out to you so that you know that these are two separate conversations. So the first one is a pretty informal conversation between two friends, Jack and Sam. So we have Jack over here saying, "Hi Sam, do you think I could use your cell phone for a moment?" "Sure, no problem. Here you are." "Thanks, buddy. It'll only be a minute or two." "Take your time, no rush." "Thanks." So, this is the first conversation. If you see, it's a pretty informal conversation, right? And here, Sam is giving permission to Jack to use his cell phone. Now, the second conversation is slightly more formal because it's between a teacher and a student, and there's definitely a hierarchy in this relation where the teacher is in a more powerful and authoritative position as compared to the student. So the student asks the teacher, "Would it be possible for me to have a few more questions to review before the quiz?" Teacher says, "Please feel free to study for a few more minutes." So, do you remember when we did the languages slide? Please feel free plus infinitive. So, this is your example. Please feel free to plus verb. So, please feel free to study for a few minutes. Thank you very much. No problem. And then the conversation goes on, right? So, this is how you use, how you make a dialogue. The sample dialogue is shared with you to give you an idea as to how to go about writing a dialogue, or actually incorporating these structures in your daily conversations, actually incorporating and using this language in your day to day interactions, right? And now you might enjoy this sample video. I have shared the web link over here. And this video is again of a professional, in a professional context where there's a new employee in a company whose name is Sarah, and she's asking her workmate, that's her colleague Bella, questions about company policies. So you can even read it out over here, read out for yourself or read for yourself, and then you can go to YouTube and actually listen to this conversation, right? So here she's asking her workmate, "How long are we allowed to go for lunch?" "It is only 30 minutes break. Can I leave 30 minutes early?" "And is there a strict policy on, sorry, you have to go like this, blue to pink. I'm sorry. It is 30 minutes for lunch break. If it is only 30 minutes break, can I leave 30 minutes early?" "No, I'm afraid you can't." "And is there a strict policy on working hours?" "Yes, there is. Everyone has to start work." And then she goes on to ask, "Are we allowed to start work an hour later if we work an hour more? Hmm? Are we allowed to?" So here there's a lot of conversation starters, a question starting with, "Are we allowed to?" So here she's not seeking direct permission from her workmate. She's trying to know more about company policies. Nonetheless, the video, if you listen to, sorry, the audio, when you listen to it, it is definitely going to help you with the intonation, the pronunciation, the contractions, the rising, falling tone, all that we have been discussing in these sessions, right? So I hope you found this session fruitful. I'll come back again. Thank you.